Okay, it's Monday, the 7th of July. I'm looking at a chart of the Dow Jones Index. The key part about this chart is the open, which was 100 points up. The close hit was on Thursday, because it was Independence Day on Friday. Was about 112.80, and we just shot straight up like this. At this point, the bet I'm going to talk about today was the bet I went long of. I bought was the Dow Jones to have a cash low less than minus 200. Now, with this sharp move up, over 100 points up, in fact it was over 100, I think 130 points up at the highs, or maybe even more than that, this bet was available to buy at 2. Okay, now with the binary bet you go to 100, so if you're going to buy at 2 and go to 100, which it hasn't yet done, but it may do, that's a profit of 4,900%. So why did I do this trade? The reason was because this, well, firstly we're in a major downtrend. The wave pattern on the Dow, in fact we'll look at that now. Okay, this is the hourly chart of the Dow, and what we've actually seen is a move down as in a 1, 2, 3 and then a 4. And then we saw this little truncated thing here, which could be the fifth wave, but it probably isn't. We then saw, and I'll just expand this chart. So having seen this little truncated thing here, we then saw an A, B, and then a C formed by the open today, and bang on resistance of 11,400 here. So a sell-off to make this little blip down into a more significant fall, which is what I'm expecting, was on the cards. Therefore, to buy this bet at 2 looked a good bet. Well, it was a good bet because it's gone up quite significantly because the market's come down. We'll now look at the chart of IG Index. Okay, this is the bet in question, and it's the 7th of July. Now you see that this is the 0 line here. So as I say, I bought it. I forget the precise time. I'll show you in a minute, but I bought it around here, say at 2, and it's gone shooting up. I've been taking profit, in fact, around the 50 level. So I've been taking profits on position here. I went at £10 a point. I should have gone in for more, really. Well, obviously, it's great in hindsight. So I only risked £20 this trade, but I've already made about 400. About £400 on it, I think. And I've left a couple of positions in place. It's possible the Dow will go all the way. Just have a quick look at the Dow now. Okay, this is the chart of the 5-minute chart again of the Dow. You'll see it's come down. Actually, we could see it could have been a 5-wave form. It should go further this move, but it could bounce first. This bet expires today, so when the Dow closes at 9, then the bet also expires. So unless we're 200 points down at some point between now and it's 7:15 UK time, so we've got an hour and 3/4 left. Unless the Dow hits the low 200 points below the open, though the open was around here. So we've got to see a low at about 11,087 or something, 88, for this bet to go all the way to 100. Binary bets can move between 0 and 100. So far we start at 2, it's gone to 50-60. This formation we have here doesn't look that encouraging. We've got this sideways drift since US time 1 o'clock. Which suggests we probably are going to go lower. Whether we're going to go that much lower to give us a full profit, I don't know at this point in time. We'll now just switch to the IG Index activity to show the trades I've done. Okay, here's me opening the trade. What's it go to? 900 plus 10 at 2, and here's me taking some profits on it. At 44.8, 57.3. So obviously buying at 2, this is a pretty significant increase. We're talking of 2,000% or something, 20 times, 25 times percent. So it's a big gain on a very small amount of risk. And I'll be looking at this again tomorrow. That's the 8th of July. I have left some. I've closed out £8 a point. I've got £2 a point left. I may in fact close actually. Is looking, as time goes by, the chances of the bet going all the way reduce. I'd rather end the day with a £500 profit rather than waiting and not getting a £1,000 profit. £500 profit is nice. a £1,000 profit I don't make is not nice. That's the end of this short recording. Thanks. It's now the following day, and I'm just going to review the results. I decided to bail out of the rest of the position. The Dow actually rallied yesterday. I'll show you a chart in a minute. But just to summarise what happened, the position size was £10 a point. The entry was at 2, so the total risk was £20. That's all. Now I would mention this point. It's quite an important point. I do this quite a lot. I do spend a fair bit of time buying these really cheap bets. We're currently in a pretty volatile phase. Unless the markets are volatile, you won't get many successes. And you need to choose your days. You need to see that you got the right kind of result, you want the right kind of prices, and you want some potential for there to be a trade like this. But even so, I don't tend to throw much money at this. As you see, £20, not very much. I sometimes do more than that. In fact, I'm not sure I did so little yesterday, but anyway. So total of £20. These are my closing levels here. So the last one, the 33, was actually as the thing rallied, so I decided to bail out at that point. The other ones I took profits, not the best price. I think the price went up to about 60. I'll look at the chart of the bet as well in a minute. But nevertheless, we had a total profit of £448. The trade lasted, I think, a couple of hours or so, maybe 3 hours. So it's a good return, and the percentage gain was 2,242%. So all in all, it's good. It would have been nice to have £100 a point on it, of course. But I didn't do that on this occasion. I do sometimes, in fact. It was a bit of a flower, I guess. I mean, we had an ABC pattern. I thought, having done the trade, that maybe the market would need more time to actually move down. I may see a bit of backing and filling before the market moved down, but in fact, as it happened, it went down very nicely, and it gave us a very nice profit. Right, I'll just get the charts up of the bet and the Dow now. Okay, here's a chart of the Dow. You see we had this initial blip up on the 7th. So I basically bought the bet around here. Often I look to sell the tunnels, a 200 tunnel. It's actually cheaper very often to sell the tunnel. The risk on that trade is often less than buying the two extreme bets. Often by a fair margin, in fact. So I might end up paying, say, 15 if I bought the two bets separately, and only risk 10 by selling the tunnel. Anyway, then came shooting down a little bit here as well, but it never went near the 200 down 200 point level, which would have been somewhere down here actually. It did quite. I think it was about 160 points down at the lowest, not sure precisely, but then a very strong rally came at the end. So it was the right thing to do to get out. As I think I said before, it's often much better to take a decent profit than to leave it. It's a very vexed question when to take profits. I have periods where lots of my trades would have made a lot more money if I had just stuck with them. So I letting the trades run would have made a big difference to my account size. But then other trades, like this one, you can go through quite a long period where the bets produce a very good profit. You don't take it, and you don't make no money in the end. And it's a very difficult question. It's probably perhaps worse for binaries because they're so black and white. You either make the big profit or you lose everything. With the spread bet, at least you have the advantage that you can put a stop in place, so you can lose a bit of your profit but retain the majority of it. But it is the dilemma of trading. The ultimate decider as to whether you're doing it right or not is whether you're making money consistently or not. I do that, but it's still a very vexed question. I mean, I decided that when we saw this rally coming in, that it was time to bail out. I had taken profits already on the trade. It looked. I mean, we've got a spike there, and we've got a failed retest here. So at that point, it was looking quite convincing it was going to go up. But that is the big dilemma. So that's the Dow. Here is a chart of the bets. So I bought around here somewhere. It was about 2. Well, it was 2. Actually, I waited, but it was 3 in fact. If I went from 2 till 3, and I thought, well, there's no real reason to rush this. I'll wait for the 2. It was, and you find this value. The prices when they go to 0.2, they often do jump to 0.3 and then back to 0.2 again. And it's worth perhaps just watching out for that. If you're, I mean, obviously it's not a huge issue with £10 £10 a point, but this is still all counts. Anyway, having bought the bets, it shot up to here. I started taking profits really in this sort of area, I suppose. I missed the spikes, but then they were pretty rapid spikes. I mean, this is a 5-minute chart, so yeah, that was that spike there was within a 5-minute period. This one here was in a 10-minute period, and of course it looked like it might go further at that point. It looked like it may go all the way, and I bailed out my final position here just before it started to accelerate downwards. Anyway, I hope that's useful. Thank you for listening. Cheers.